You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at paceradio.net and 420pace.ca. Good evening, Tamara.
How's it going, Al?
It's going. You know, winter's settling in, the cold temperatures are coming. But the good news is the snow that we got 2 weeks ago has all melted and gone away.
We haven't had any snow.
You haven't had snow? No, eh? Yeah,
Which
we
is super unusual because everybody knows I live in the Rocky Mountains, right? And
right.
For us not to have any snow, it's been raining. It's been like the coast. It rains during the day, and then at night it gets cool and it gets foggy, and and then of course the black ice because you've got wet surfaces. But
right.
we haven't had any snow.
No, eh? Oh, yeah.
A little stiff, just like a little.
We've had some rain. We've had some rain since the snow, but our nights are getting minuses all the time almost.
Oh yeah, I mean it's getting below zero for sure, but not minus 40.
Oh no, that's coming though. That's coming.
They say for our area into January, closer to February, we're supposed to have a really different winter than normal. We were kind of at the beginning of the year. We're told we could get some heavy snow.
Yeah.
Now apparently not. Apparently it's supposed to stay like this until mid-January. So I'm complaining, but I'm not because I don't want to shovel it. But again, I keep thinking of the forest, and I keep thinking without the snowpack and our water and everything that we're lacking when we don't get the precipitation that we need. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, we know we need some water in the ground. Our ponds around here are a little low, so
even the St. Mary's River. I went out to drop off some supplies out at the res dealer, at the beginning of last week, and the St. Mary's River was super good.
So tonight I've got some studies that we're going to discuss throughout the program, as well as some, I'm going to say, surveys or something along that line. A little bit of, maybe some information that people might be interested in.
Well, I know there's something that
one of those studies is something that I read the headline and I went, and so we'll get into that when we get there. So go ahead.
I was just going to speak up about the veterans and how with this new budget, the kiosk is apparently going to cut into their cannabis.
Yes.
And I don't know the details. I haven't read the legislation, and I haven't been able to talk to my friend that's a veteran that's going to be directly affected. We were supposed to speak the other day, and he's been busy. Mm-hmm. So I don't have a lot of the details on it, but I want people in our community to be aware that as medical patients, we've been left behind in the Cannabis Act as it was. Did you find it?
What they have done is due to the compression in the price of cannabis per gram, what they have done is they have reduced the compensation amount.
Right.
So instead of being $8.50 a gram, they are reimbursing veterans at $6 a gram. That's what's happening.
Okay, so now I understand why he's so upset, because at the end of the day, they're putting they have to. We discussed this too, that they are given a DIN number, right? They are the only patients in Canada that are covered.
Yeah, they do have a DIN number, do they? That's interesting.
Yeah, they were given a DIN number because that's the only way they could get it processed properly through their benefits, right? So again, depending too, they aren't all covered unless they're buying from a licensed producer through the mail. that's not paid out either. So if they're going to a legal store, that's not reimbursed to them.
Correct. No, because that's not considered medical cannabis at a legal
And they
store.
also have to go see a doctor every 3 fucking months.
Has to be renewed.
Yep, because the military wants them being monitored of their usage too, right? And because a lot of their medical is taken care of by the Veterans Affairs Department, they are not the same as Canadians when it comes to medical services either, right? Their medical is not covered by provincial, like a certain portion, but all their extended medical is all provided by the federal government, right?
Federal government.
Right? So like, right, but it's like a private insurance company covering that too, though, right? Because the Canadian government doesn't have its own insurance company that covers medical benefits. Like, we don't. Everything's covered by another exterior insurance company. So it's been a real conundrum, and it's always been really difficult for them right from the very get-go to begin with. But now it's making it even more difficult. Now, soldiers that are actively in the military, that aren't veterans, that aren't retired or have not left the service, do not fall under the same qualification.
No, Well, if they
will be reimbursed the same $8.50 it's the veterans that are getting cut back.
Right. Yeah. Now is that program set up for just retired veterans or veterans that are no longer because of medical purposes, or is that
it's for any active serving member and veterans, because cannabis is now legal.
That's
right?
what I was looking for, was for serving members.
So if you're a serving member and you're still like having, just because you're serving and you're not like under medical restriction, you can still have mental health, PTSD. These are things that they help them with, right? So if you're an acting service member and you're using cannabis for PTSD because you're still serving, they still cover that. You don't have to be retired or not within the service anymore. Yeah, you have to have medical need though. Like either way,
yeah.
You're not going to cover the soldiers going out on a Saturday night and grabbing a couple babies at the dispensary. That's you know what I mean. Like they're not going to do that. But they definitely, if you're a medical need, even if you're acting service member, you're covered. But again, like I still think that at the end of the day, they shouldn't be being cut back at all. There's supposed to be more money being put into our military. It should not be cutting out any of their services at all.
I was when I read it, I thought, "Wow, hang on, what do you mean?"
Yeah, my friend was pretty upset. In fact, I got a couple of them that are veterans. There's 3 of them that I interact with on TikTok on a regular basis, and there's 3 of them that are pretty kicked off about it. I mean, they're happy about the way the budget kind of rolled out for the active members, the fact that they're putting that much money into the military, because for decades our military services were left with absolutely like bare bones. Mm-hmm. So the budget, in one aspect, they're very happy for the active members, but for themselves, anyway.
They're upset about this cut. Yeah, well, yeah. What? Hang on, that's that's not good.
And these are all active members that are across the country. Like one of them's in Alberta, one of them's in British Columbia, and one of them's actually that lives in Ottawa, right? So these are people that are veterans from Afghanistan and Bosnia, and they live across the country, and they're all treated equally. There's no provincial bullshit with them, right? They're federal, so it all kind of equal equality across the board on that, which I think more should be done.
Just so you know, I did pull it up just to confirm things.
Yeah.
$8.50 to $6 per gram.
And that's not their fault. That's because the market price dropped. It's got nothing to do with the government.
And what happens when the price goes back up? Will they revisit this decision?
I would think they would have to. I think they review things a little more regularly when it comes to federal benefits than let's say we would be. I'm not sure. I know that my mom's considered a federal, ex-employee too, and her benefits exceed what anybody like my husband's. And she's been retired for 20 years almost now, and she's still covered by the federal government benefits, and they're pretty good. Like she's got better dental than I do.
Okay. They say, what else do they say here? Qualify for reimbursement eligible individuals under the VAC and RCMP program must provide medical document completed by a healthcare practitioner, submit a confirmed registration document issued by a federal licensed producer and produce cannabis or purchase cannabis exclusively from federally licensed sellers, with
Yep.
the exception of seeds and plants. So they can't grow their own. They can only just purchase.
Well, they can, but the government will not. Like the government, the thing is with an
Won't
LP,
pay, yeah, the government won't pay for it.
right? But the thing is with an LP license, for them to have their license covered, you're not allowed two licensing. You're only allowed either an MMPR, which is the one that you have to have still through license, or ACMPR. But you can't have a license to grow and still get from the licensed producers, right? Like
Right. Yeah. I remember that. That's right.
Right?
Yeah, it's been a while
Right?
since I heard that one.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right? So you
Yeah.
can't have both. You can't grow your own and
Yeah.
then still buy from the licensed
Yeah.
producer.
I remember buying it out.
Grow your own and then go buy from the store,
Yeah.
and they're not going to cover the stuff that you purchase from the store. So there's
Right.
ways, of course, of getting around all of that. But again, if you're a veteran and you want the government to pay for your stuff, you either have to grow it yourself, which they will help you acquire some of that equipment and stuff to under a certain, they believe a certain level. But again, they're not going to pay for your clones or your seeds, right? But they'll pay for your stuff coming from a licensed producer. So then you're acquiring seeds and clones illegally or illicitly, right? And then so what? I mean, there's no way of legally sourcing anything if you're a patient, to be fair.
Well, you can buy medical cannabis through the medical program, the medical only sales at some of the LPs.
Sure, you can, but you have to change your licensing and able to do that, right? And
Yeah,
again, who wants?
Yeah, you can't grow and buy from the LPs at the same time.
Right.
Yeah,
But
it's
again,
been like that since day one.
And buy Broken Coast in the store for the same price. You're going to buy Broken Coast from them, and you're going to have to wait for them to mail it to you.
The stuff you're buying in the store is recreational.
It's
Remember,
not.
They don't sell medicinal cannabis in stores.
The Broken Coast that I bought last week from the store is still from Broken Coast, and it's still the same weed that I could go on their website and buy medically. The exact Make it make sense. Make it make sense, please. Somebody make it make sense.
Well, you're buying it directly from the LP. You're not buying it from a commercial store.
Still the same plant.
The product in the end, I agree. The product in the end is exactly the same product.
Right? And there's nobody at Broken Coast giving you medical advice either on what you should be doing or anything either. So if you phone them up and say, hey, I've got this, what do you suggest? They won't tell you either because they're not medical on that end.
Doctors.
No. So what make it make sense? Again, make it make sense.
What, you mean doctors don't recommend strains?
What doctor recommends cannabis? I very few of them even recommend, proactively using cannabis to benefit your health at any point.
Right.
I've even heard a naturopath tell you to go out and smoke a joint.
No, I never had the naturopath tell me that. I've had them tell me to stop eating potatoes.
I told one to tell me that I needed more, estrogen.
Yeah.
By looking in my eyes, I don't know how they figured that out. But
your eyes go red. All right, what have I got here?
I tried.
You know what your other favorite, one of your other favorite beefs is? That you're always looking for where they spending the money. Right now, unfortunately, I don't have any information on the BC government. Okay, but there was a report that came out that
stop it.
It talks about where the government has spent the money.
Right. Well, we don't know where they're spending the money. They tell us it's going into education and healthcare.
Well, as I said, this is not provincial. I can tell you where some of the federal money goes to, but okay. I can't tell you where the provincial end goes to.
So it's a federal government thing.
This is the federal government. This is what they're saying. The total 8-year federal funding from start to end date was $1,047,187,948.
Amazing.
And then Health Canada, they said to implement and enforce legislative framework. The actual spending was $698,144,000. $548. To provide information to Canadians, they spent $26,618,615.
Advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was swift.
Internal services, 78 million, basically $79 million. When you're down to $70,000, it doesn't make a big difference in when it's 79 million. They say for Public Health Agency of Canada to provide information to Canadians, there was a $4.8 million. Public health as well for internal services were over $500,000. Public Safety Canada provide information to Canadians. That was a little more than $1 million. $5 million to enhance data, knowledge, and tools. Another $1 million for internal services. That's all in Public Safety Canada. Now for the RCMP to provide intelligent enforcement and security screenings was $74.5 million. Internal services, $13 million. Canadian Border Services Agency to prevent and intercept cross-border movement was $54 million.
Oh, so
And
there's the money, the money for the budget that they're going to put towards border services. So basically, the cannabis money is helping to pay for
so
that.
that's what they have spent between
Already?
April 1st of 2017 to March the 31st, 2025. So this is ended well before the budget.
Okay, well that's good then. I mean, at least they're.
At least, yeah, you've got some numbers, right? You know where some of the stuff was spent.
And I'm not disputing that they had to go. There was out because it was a new industry. They had to go out and do a great big blitz on advertising and safety and all this public health stuff. I get that, right? The RCMP, of course, but the RCMP should be getting more money for intelligence and enforcement, but they don't need it because they're not doing any. Border, okay, I get the border thing, but the RCMP, come on. We just cut you guys some slack with not having to run around chasing people for a couple grams of weed. Like, stop it. I mean, if you're using that money to cut out the meth, and the fentanyl, okay. Okay. But I also believe that we should actually legalize and regulate everything so that we don't have these commodities being used for crimes and used to be able to make people do stupid things that, cause people to die, like use cheap fentanyl. And it's just.
Yeah. Well, just to give you a quick update, I don't have the information directly in front of me, but there's another report out of Tayaganaga.
Okay.
Of a bunch more, and something like 25 arrests.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
To hear that, and I mean, unless they're organized and they've caused some, and infiltrated and made it so that it's bad. I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say because I know good people.
Yeah.
I know good people get arrested for cannabis all the time, myself included, and judged harshly when there's necessarily not a reason to be done so I don't pass judgment.
Yeah. All right, to move on to close off that page, a report that has come out, and this may not be, it's one of those things where you and I and others have said it for years, but it's only been, they always say, oh, it's just anecdotal, and thanks, Scott. Thanks for the feedback. Much appreciated.
Scott.
That?
We're still standing, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right. It says here that cannabis promotes improvements in chemotherapy in patients. Now we're seeing it in writing. Like I said, we've seen it for years. But now we're seeing it in writing.
It really did take so much to get the medical field to start recognizing that something that wasn't coming out of a lab was beneficial to your health. Because let's face it, they go to medical school, they are not taught natural health. And I'm not saying that the natural health way is always the right way to go either, because doctors will tell you the medicines that they were using prior to pharmaceuticals are made up of the natural medicines they were using, but they found a better way of using them, right? So when people want to bang at you about using pharmaceuticals, aspirins were made from a willow, right? That's even cocaine is a plant, right?
Yeah.
Like, So again, and opioid is
perks and oxys,
opioids are big poppies, right? So again,
Yeah.
with the manufacturer, and I get it. You'd rather, but nobody's going to go out and be able to, find an opioid poppy and keep themselves, like, come on, let's get real here. So
It's been a while since I've seen a poppy arrest, but they have happened.
absolutely they have, but you can't. Here's the thing. Our environment, right? Are we able to grow that type of poppy in anywhere but Vancouver?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, out on the island.
Anyways, that's irrelevant. But again, natural medicine and science have combined
Mhm.
themselves since so we're sitting here where we are. But again, I wish cannabinoids, because I was talking about this the other day. We have a
Mhm.
cannabinoid system within our own bodies. So why that's not something that they look into more? Like, why do we have cannabinoid receptors? What is cannabinoids, and where are they coming from? And have doctors do a little more on that. But again, here we are. We're getting some research coming forward finally.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They had 1,500 patients, and 802 reported at least one of these things called chemotherapy-induced peripheral neuropathic pain. And that includes burning sensations, cold sensations, paralysis, which is the prickling, and numbness. And 751 of them met the study inclusion. Okay, what else it says here? The patients were categorized into THC high and CBD low. CBD high, THC low, two different groups. And they said that both groups reported symptom improvements. The THC high group showed a significant greater improvement in burning sensation and cold sensation, improvements in activities of daily life, and the quality of life as well were slightly higher or significantly higher in the THC group.
That's because everybody knows you need a full spectrum. But again,
Yeah.
we tried so hard. I'm not going to say we. There are people in our industry that tried so hard to rip that carrot apart.
Yeah.
Distill it,
Oh yeah.
and that, and CB. And again, they're all beneficial, but not basically. I don't know. I don't believe that they're beneficial by themselves. I think you need the
Combination. Yeah. Well, in the closing, they concluded, the researchers said that cannabis effectively reduces these chemotherapy-induced peripheral neuropathic pain symptoms and improves quality of life and activities of daily life. Higher THC doses were more effective than lower doses, and combined CBD and THC doses yielded greater symptom relief.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. Again, we've always said it's not a cure-all. It works for some,
right.
the other. And I'm not going to say that you can just do it and not use your chemotherapy. Don't ever listen to somebody who tells you that.
The well, I had cancer. I had melanoma, and I had someone make up some oil with my cannabis, and I used it. I didn't see any shrinkage. I saw a difference in coloration in my skin and that. And I gave it until surgery date. If I didn't see enough of a change, then I was going to continue with my surgery. If I saw a major change, I was going to make the doctor aware of it and say, "Hey, maybe we don't need to do surgery."
Right, but you weren't going to just cancel your surgery and run off to the sunset, and not at least have your doctor.
No.
I know people that have done that.
Yeah. I know.
Back to their doctor when they were like first diagnosed, and then the next thing you know, they decide they're going to go off to the sun, and then they go back and they're in third stage.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Those are decisions that people make for themselves, and it's
And again, I've never said don't do whatever. I'm not a medical. I'm not trained medically. I have no medical experience.
And I don't say cannabis is a cure for cancer.
But I will never tell anybody not
to. But I'll say it can improve the quality of life, and as we just reported in that report, it does improve quality of life.
Absolutely. That's 110% no matter what. I
Yeah.
can't see it not improving anybody's quality of life. Like, without cancer, with cancer, even if you're not medical, needing it medicinally, cannabis will improve your life. You don't have to.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I've always said, the world peace would come if we would just sit down for minutes.
And I've always said also that it's not for everybody.
No, it's not.
Cheeseburgers aren't for everybody.
Well,
Right?
allergies too. I've got friends that are actually allergic to it. They can't touch it. They can smoke it, but they can't touch it.
Oh yeah. Well, I know somebody who's allergic to it, and they don't smoke it or touch it.
Yeah, no, I had a friend that he would have his uh, lady friend pack the bowl for him. He couldn't go into the rooms, do any of the trimming or any of that stuff, and they grew. And he'd have her pack the bowl and he'd smoke it, but he couldn't touch it. He'd just break out in hives.
Really? Eh? And the smoking didn't bother him.
No, boss. Didn't make anything else. It was the skin irritation, I guess. Trichlome's hitting him, and sometimes it's irritated my skin after the days of trimming and stuff. And if you're not wearing gloves, sometimes the tops of my hands have been irritated from whatever it is, right? It's just the raw matter, whatever. But I've had that happen. Not hives, but
No, yeah.
dry irritation and some itchiness. Like,
You're just getting too much THC into that
yeah,
spot, so
it
it's
should make
irritated it.
should make you itchy. But yeah, like I said, and I haven't touched a plant in 4 years, so I couldn't tell you.
4 years. It's
Probably
been like
we haven't grown.
other than rolling joints, right?
Other than rolling joints, of course. But again,
Yeah.
like
It's
nothing.
been a month.
I tried popping seeds. None of the seeds I tried popping this year worked. None of
Yeah.
them. Absolutely nothing. And then I'm glad, grateful for a point, because I just pulled spider mites off the tomato, like a tomato plant in my kitchen, or a strawberry plant that I brought in from outside. Spider mites everywhere.
Oh, really?
Out the door it went. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Bye-bye. See you later.
Thankfully, I don't have anything, like I have no cannabis out there. But again, strawberry plant from outside that I bring in every year, and this year it's covered in mites.
No.
The door it went.
Well, it's like, even plants you just buy from the store, you got to be careful. I've seen we had a little rose plant.
Those are horrible.
Yeah, and it turned into a snow cone.
Yeah, every time I buy one of those mini roses, it doesn't matter whether it was 10 years ago or now. Every time I bring them in my house, they covered in spider mites. Every time. It's almost like they put it in the dirt and just send it out. I don't even know what to tell you, because they're growing in the dirt, right? They're in that peat moss or whatever.
Yeah, in peat moss, yeah.
Right? So they've got to be growing in that peat moss or something, because they have to have a certain amount of heat to hatch, right?
Yeah.
You bring them in, you must keep them in these cool greenhouses, right? Or a cool environment.
You bring them inside, put them into 75, 80 degree.
Oof, they just light up.
Oof. Yeah, in a window, right?
Yeah, that's a common thing I've heard. Like, I've had that happen too. But again, you have to wonder, like, this was a plant that was outside all summer. But then I also have brought a baby doll in that I bought at Canadian Tire in the summertime. It sat outside all summer. I never brought it in the house. And then I brought it in the fall, and I had to wash it down yesterday too. So I've guaranteed that fucking thing is the reason why those spider mites came in. And it was that plant from Canadian Tire.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
So I doused it last night, dish soap and whatever.
Try to drown them eggs.
Dish soap them to death.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I know that what I've done with spider mice. I don't know whether it would work on the rose bush or not, but I stripped the plants naked, so until there's enough leaves on them so they can survive.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, yeah, I've had to do that with, like, I've only had spider mites. I think we had spider mites once when we lived in Tabor, and Alan and his buddy had to deal with it. They stripped the plants right down. They took a vacuum with a nylon, because these plants are already in bud, right? And they took a nylon with a vacuum and started sucking these things down and walking. Oh yeah. God, it was only like, I think we only had 12 plants in the room at that time.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, they were in there with nylons over the vacuum and sucking all these things off the plants and strip. Oh god. But that was the one and only time we've ever had to deal with him. We learned to listen. Don't ever get your room above 72 degrees, and you never have to fucking deal with it.
Don't have to worry about it. Yeah, get it up to 85.
Don't ever go over 72. Anything over 72, them fuckers will live.
All right, time for us to take a break. And when we get back, we're going to be talking about blood alcohol levels. Not alcohol levels, THC levels in your blood when it comes to driving. Yes, exactly. And what one lawmaker is trying to do to help patients with that situation. So, right. Other than that, we'll see you in about almost 3 minutes. You're watching the Pace Radio Show. We're live here at paceradio.net and 420pace.ca.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
Are you looking to get your medical cannabis grow license? Limestone City Hydroponics can help patients through the process of obtaining their license to grow medical cannabis. What's that? You don't have a doctor? If you meet the medical criteria, Limestone City Hydroponics has a nurse practitioner who can assess and provide medical cannabis prescriptions. What are you waiting for? Contact Limestone City Hydroponics at limestonecityhydroponics.ca or call them at 613-548-0420.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more. We've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Rerolled Saturdays. Check it out. Nothing but non-stop cannabis and psychedelic programming. Find it at 420pace.ca.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Hey, we're back. We're live. You're watching the Pace Radio Show. And as I promised before the break, we were going to talk about THC levels in blood when it comes to driving. Because apparently, current cannabis blood concentrations used to identify impaired drivers could land innocent people in jail. They say that a new study demonstrates that many regular cannabis users exceed legal blood cannabis limits for U.S. drivers, despite showing no evidence of impairment.
That's a fact. I'm sure that if they took my blood rate down today, I'd be well over the nanogram. What is it, 0.05 or 4 for cannabis in Canada? And I'd be well over that. In fact, I remember a time that I was drug tested at a job and was told that my concentration levels in my body were so high that I should be intoxicated 24 hours a day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You see, the previous Previous research they talked about here say that it elevated the effect of THC on motor vehicle crashes, concluded there is no increase of crash risk because of detectable THC, despite evidence showing no collaboration between the detection of THC in the blood and driving impairment. 6 states in the U.S. Have these laws like we do. The 2 nanograms and the 5 nanogram limits.
Yeah. But again, like, if you're not showing any impairment, like, how are they knowing that you consumed cannabis if they don't smell or detect anything on you at the time of the, say, said crash or pull over distance, whatever? How are they able to take your blood to see whether you're fucking impaired on cannabis or not anyway? Unless they smell something, your eyes, like, whatever. Like, I don't understand how they're just randomly able to tell.
Yeah, and as you know, it hangs around in the blood for a while, and several days afterwards, somebody could fail a drug driving test, even though they're not showing any signs of impairment.
Or may not have consumed for a 24-hour period before that even. Like, you know what I mean? Like, say for, I haven't smoked for 2 days and I'm going to go drive, and all of a sudden I get pulled over. I haven't consumed for 2 days yet. My blood would tell you that I probably smoked a half an hour ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They say here that researchers measured baseline concentrations of THC in 190 regular cannabis users. Then, after instructing participants to abstain from cannabis for at least 48 hours and following the absenteeism, the researchers also evaluated the driver's performance in this group using a driver simulator. They said that they found that many regular users of cannabis exceed zero tolerance and per se THC cutoff points, which is the new 2 nanograms and 5. And they say specifically 43% of the participants exceeded zero tolerance status, while 24% had baseline blood THC concentrators above these 2 and 5 nanograms. So that's 48 hours later. And they're still failing that THC limit, but not showing any signs of being impaired.
No, and you wouldn't, like, especially if you hadn't consumed for 48 hours. Like, even like if I consumed like 2 hours ago, you would not be able to, even 10 minutes later. Like, I just don't, you know what I mean? Like, and some people, like, I guess that's not the norm for everybody. And I'm not going to say it's a norm for everybody, because some people smoke a joint and they're labeled. Their eyes are all red.
Oh, yeah. I know of somebody who's been plastered after having one 10 milligram gummy.
Right. And again, like,
they had to lay down.
Right. And we're all individuals and we all have different tolerance levels. Myself, I don't get high anymore at all. Like, I don't feel any euphoric sense of anything, no matter what I do. I can eat 1,000 milligram gummy and all I'm doing is going to sleep. I'm not feeling any euphoric high. I'm not feeling shit. My vape pen, my cannabis that I smoke, because I've been smoking probably for 30 years, and it's taking care of my body's needs, my body's nausea, my body's aches and pains and little bits of that. It's not worrying about the rest of it. It's like, oh, you're okay. You're smiling. You're all right. Your back's sore. Like.
Now, as far as these drivers, they put them, like I said earlier, they put them through the simulation test. And they said, based on the results from those tests, participants with evaluated baseline concentrations of THC did no worse on a driving simulator compared to participants who were below per se cutoff points.
Or at zero for that matter. Right? I know at one point in time, right before legalization, they were trying to do an impairment study in Vancouver. And a mutual friend of ours actually went out there and participated in it. And they did a before and after, like, you just drive the course before, and then they have you go off when you smoke, then they have you drive the course again. Well, the participants were showing either no impairment or driving better, and the study was ended. No results were published. Poof, disappeared. Because every time they try to prove the harms, they find that the harms are less than expected to begin with, or there's better performance or no lack of any impairment at all, and their study's blown right out of the fucking water.
Right. Well, talking about performing better, there was a study that shows that older adults with a history of cannabis use exhibit superior cognitive performance compared to non-users.
But I thought they told us before that it was going to eat our brains, and it was we were supposed to have no memory, short-term memory loss. We wouldn't remember anything. We'd be just a bunch of zombies, like we all had lobotomies.
They say older adults with a history of cannabis use exhibit superior cognitive performance and slower age-related declines. So you're it's as if the plant is keeping you young.
Okay, I'll keep eating it.
Compared to non-users, participants with
although Al, look at you and look at like you're going to be retiring right away. You don't look like you should be retiring at all. You look like you're like my age, and I look like I'm 10 years younger than I should be too. So yeah, cannabis.
I know. I got told tonight that I was young looking.
You are.
By a lady who I didn't know. She was driving by. She was looking for a cat. She was calling the cat's name.
Well, I know. I was telling Alvin that you're, going to be getting your old age, and he goes, "Fuck off." And that's exactly. He goes, "He doesn't look like he's that. Just stop it." I'm like, "No." And I said, even Debbie Stout Skiffin, he goes, "Shut up." Because Debbie's looking really good too. I don't know if you've seen any recent pictures of her, but she's looking great, and she's gonna, and her husband just turned almost I think Cliff's 75. Like they're both, and they've been consuming cannabis for decades, and I chalk it up.
Yeah. Let's see. What else they say here? Yeah, they talk about better cognitive assessment compared to those without. Okay, let's see what else they got on here.
It helps with menopause.
They say that the study authors concluded while cognitive harms are often assumed among older cannabis users, our results suggest a more nuanced picture. These findings may support a balanced messaging that informs decisions, reduces age-related cannabis stigma, and promotes clinicians-patient dialogue. Yeah.
Well, I went out to my friendly little store out over there. And there was an older gentleman in there, and he was asking about they had some Epsom salts. And
about what?
He had a bag of Epsom salts with CBD.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And there's a little bit of THC, but as soon as his wife would see the word THC on it, she probably wouldn't use it. And the kid they have working there doesn't have a fucking clue. So I kind of jumped in and said, listen, you don't have to worry. You're not going to get any high from the THC that's in a body balm or a topical of any kind anyway. And then I explained the one-to-one with the CBDs and all the different levels and, the whole fact you need. And I gave them all this information. They're just kind of they're all standing there going, how do you know this stuff? And I just said, I've been just doing this a really long time, right? But he bought those Epsom salts, but he wasn't going to. He was going to leave them on the counter because he saw THC on the packaging. And I said, hey, whoa, don't do that. Don't assume that THC is going to be harmful to you. It's not going to get you high. Your wife's not going to get a little bit sprinkled water else come out going, that's not going to happen. And I explained to them the full spectrum, full aspect of it. So he bought those bath Epsom salts.
Good. Yeah, because there's no high to it. So,
well, the thing of it is, older people, like older than myself, even they're scared of THC. They've been fed all these propaganda, terrifying stories about THC, and then we fed the CBD, not going to get you high, have the same benefits, blah blah blah. And again, now that we've come full circle back, we're finding through research and our own experiences that you need a full spectrum. You can't just keep ripping and just take straight CBD. You're not going to see. Well, you will see. I'm not going to say you're not going to see any benefit. I'm not going to say that because everybody that has done just straight CBDs, some of them do see some benefit. I personally don't see anything.
I was talking to a guy over the weekend, him and his wife. They don't go looking for THC. They don't even go looking for CBD. They go looking for CBG.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What are the benefits of CBG by itself? Seriously.
By itself, I haven't got it off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up.
I don't, like I said, to me, I don't think that if you take them and split them down, I've tried CBD and CBD or CBDs by themselves. I've tried CBD or D, whatever it is, but there's no benefit to it by itself. For myself, I'm not saying, whatever, right? I've got another girlfriend that uses, what is it, Delta 9 and CBD mix. I think it's a Delta. Is that what it's called?
Delta 9 is THC.
Right. But this is what it's just straight. And she says it's the best thing ever. And I'm saying it's dangerous. She uses it by itself. It can be very dangerous.
Okay, here we go. Anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, neuroprotective properties. And this person would be using it for neuroprotective benefits.
And are they consuming it edibly? Or are they
edibles?
Okay. I can understand. Well, like I understand if you want to, because even CBD, if you buy CBD in its real true form, it's a white powder.
Oh, yeah.
Right? CBD is not like, it is. It's a white powder because I've had somebody send it to me and I opened the container and went, what the fuck is this? And what the fuck is this? And it was CBDs, right? So again, when you're using it for edibles, for baking, yes. In fact, when I'm doing my edibles now, I'm not using can of butter. The price of butter is $6.50 a pound. And then if you to dose it, trying to get cannabis to, donate it for it. Then
so what are you using now?
I've been decarbing keef and using honey oils. So I'm using a combination of decarbed keef and honey oil. And it seems to be a lot more effective. And I've done a little bit of I did some research on decarbed keef. A lot of more bakers are using the decarbed keef rather than using butter. And you can add the keef to butter if you want to. You can absolutely.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
But again, you can also just decarb the keef and not add it to anything. You can just add it straight into your baking.
Oh, add it right into your baking. Oh, yeah.
Then you don't have to add any extra added liquid. You can also add it just straight within with your flour. Again, it just and the dosing for it for the gummies and stuff, especially because it basically with the combination of the oil and the decarb and the way it mixes through, the dosing is so much better. They're just more effective. I don't know. It's just a new thing. I just discovered it, and yeah. And the nice thing about it is I can go to
experimental baking with Tamara.
Right, and again, like I said, I can go out there, and they'll give me it for a lot lower price than what an ounce of cannabis would cost me, and I get a lot more baking with that than what I would if I had baked butter. And I can't use butter in candy and gummies anyway.
No,
and it's cheaper than honey oil.
I haven't used butter in a long time.
No, I haven't baked for a really long time, other than just I made fudge and I made the gummies, and the gummies turned out so good that I stick with the gummies. Yeah, but I cheated. I kind of cheated. I found a professional because I got access to baking wholesale, and I found a premix. And it comes premixed with the gelatin, and then you add your own flavoring and your own food coloring. But I found so that, and it's already got all the preservatives.
So yours wasn't made out of what do you call that? Scraps or
Jello and gelatin, right? But the gelatin's beef based too. Where this is vegan, so I don't have to worry about anybody not because the gelatin's also a beef based, right? So, but then I don't have to worry about it because if you use Jello, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna go moldy, right? These don't even have to go in the fridge.
Oh, because I know Jello, like you buy Jello at the store, it's sitting on the shelf. But
once you put water and stuff with it, if it's not got enough citric acid in that setup, you're going moldy within days because of the water and the beef lard that they use in the gelatin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, I found, like I said, I kind of cheated. I found this professional mix that all I have to do is, I have to still bloom the gelatin and I still have to do all the mixing and add the flavor and stuff. But I don't have to worry about it going moldy, and I don't have to worry about me not having the specific amount of citric acid. And it just makes it easier for me.
Yeah, no, I've never made gummies. That's one thing I've never done.
I'll show you the pack. Actually, I've got one sitting here. These ones I will show you because these ones are actually made specifically for CBDs. And I got these actually from Paracana. right? And this is a company, Canadian company in Vancouver, and it's basically craft your own experience, and it tells you exactly how much CBD, like you got the CBD and everything. And this is a cola flavor. And the reason why I bought this already pre-done with the flavoring is because I don't have a cola flavoring, right? So this is another, like I said, it's a little.
So it's pre-flavored.
This one is, yes. The other ones that I use, I'm having to add my own flavoring to it, but I use all the Watkins natural and flavoring for all the flavors. So but this you can buy, and you just have to add the water, and you have to put it on the stove.
Zingers.
Zen Zingers, and it's a cola flavor, and it's made by Paracana, and I actually ordered it off Amazon. But they,
Whoa,
but
you ordered
again,
it off of Amazon.
I ordered it off Amazon, but you can order directly from them because they ship directly from their own location.
So you can buy CBD on Amazon?
No, not the CBD. There's no CBD. You have to add your own oil to it. This is just
a
gummies.
Okay,
right?
I see. Gummy making kit.
Right.
Zen Zingers gummy making kit.
Yeah, make your own yummy gummies. Make it yourself. Directly add this package to half this package to a 3-quart saucepan with 3 tablespoons of water mixed thoroughly. Simmer for exactly 4 minutes. Do not stir. Add your CBDs or your honey oil and leave on the counter put it in your molds and leave it on the counter for 24 hours. That's the instructions for this one. And again, this is the only one of these I bought because they're like $18.99. They're not cheap, right?
This one here I'm looking at is $25.
Yeah, well, like I said, this was $18.99 on Amazon. And then they have different flavors too. They had mango and raspberry, but I have those flavors here. So I bought one that's just plain. It's not a Paracana. It was a different branding. And I got that from the wholesale. But yeah, and they're a little cheaper than these ones. But
there it says right on the bottom, does not contain CBD.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it doesn't. And again, they put CBD on it. They're not putting RSO. They're not putting THC. They're using the CBD.
Yeah.
So they can sell it on Amazon. If they had THC or add whatever different, like RSO or honey oil or something else on the packaging, they would be selling.
Have you made any of these?
These ones I have not made. We have one more break. I will go grab you a couple of the gummies and show you what I made. I showed them. So
okay, sure. Well, when we go to the break, you can go grab them and you can bring them back.
Yeah, I will. Okay. And then I will have to maybe mail you out some. Because now I've got this order to sell, so I might as well, share.
Yeah, because I would stay away from gummies for years, like almost 2 decades. That's how long I stay away from gummies. And I have done some experimenting to add them in. And I sort of have some criteria, such as they got to be, if they're dissolvable in my mouth, then I know that they're going to dissolve in my stomach.
These are pretty cheap.
Yeah, I'm just concerned that they won't break down in my stomach. And I have narrowing in my bowels, right? So
right. Well, I know that this one is dextrose, gelatin, natural citric acid, soy lectin, and caramel flavorings, and malic acid. The other one, they're not using a beef gelatin. This one they do.
No.
Look at the ingredients on the other package and see what it's got. It might be because I don't have a problem with them, right?
Right.
And usually with the Jello ones, I can't eat a lot of Jello because the gelatin will bung me up, right? Because I'm the opposite of you. I don't have the narrowing. I've got the chronic diarrhea, right?
Yeah.
I can't eat a lot of gelatin because then I get plugged.
Well, just so you know, you can buy directly from the company.
Yeah, you can. Paracana. Yeah. I found that.
Orders over $100 is free shipping anywhere in the U.S. and Canada.
Yeah, I found that out after I ordered from Amazon because I was looking for stuff on Amazon, and then I found what I was looking for, and then these kind of popped up. And they were all in my cart. So then I just ordered the 1 pack. I had the mango, the zingers, all that kind of. And then my cart was like $500, and I went, I can't afford that today.
and you're and the cannabis that you're adding to it, it is the oil.
Yes.
Now, is that just straight fecal oil or coconut oil?
Fecal.
Fecal, okay.
You betcha. I'm not using no coconut, no. This one says you can use a tincture coconut oil base on it. This one. I don't want to, the other ones I wouldn't add it to because I don't want them, they're sticky enough as it is. Let's put it that way. When you're adding the RSO to it, it causes them to be stickier than they already are, and they're sticky enough because I ran a batch without any. I ran a batch first without putting any medicine in it because I wanted to see how I didn't fuck it up.
Yeah, it worked out. Yeah.
And they were, even without the RSO, in the first batch, I were sticky as fuck, and it took me like I broke one of my molds trying to pull them out, right? And that was without the RSO. Anyways, I got them out, and then I tried them with the first batch. I only put in 5 grams of RSO in them, the cherry ones. And I don't think they were quite strong enough. They were pretty good, but they weren't quite strong enough. So then this last batch, I put in 10 grams of RSO. So they would be 1,000 milligram per.
Right.
And yeah, because it's not a lot of liquid, right? There's like 3 tablespoons of liquid.
That's all it's in these.
Well, 3/4 of a cup, but the 3/4 of a cup you actually throw the bloom into, right? So it's gelatin. So you don't even classify that as liquid. So literally you've got like 3 tablespoons of water in this whole, right?
Yeah, I've always known that like people who have made them in the past have talked about trying to eliminate the water out of them because of the mold.
What I learned doing this is if you pull, like they tell you to pull them out of the silicone molds within an hour. They're not ready yet. So what I did is I left the second batch with the RSO in them because the first batch I fucked things up. Not that fucked it up, but I just found the weaknesses, the stickiness, whatever, right? And I knew they were going to be stickier with the RSO in them. So I eliminated a little bit of the water because that also helps, right? So I didn't put in the full 3 tablespoons or teaspoons. I only put in, I think, 2.5 kind of thing. And the second batch, the root beer batch, I only put 2, not 3. So I kind of like, because you got that extra liquid with the RSO. Right.
Right. Yeah.
But then I left them in the molds overnight and didn't pull them out of the molds until the next morning. And then I had to put them all out, and they're still sitting on parchment paper out because you have to flip them. Because as they lay on the parchment paper drying on one side, then you still have the water buildup on the other side. And you want to get super dry, almost to the point that they're kind of crunchy on the outside before you put them in your Tupperware container. Because then once you put them in the Tupperware container again, they will soften back up again because there's still going to be some moisture left inside them. Right? So the best thing to do, paper towel on the bottom, paper towel on the top, and then change them out of the packaging until they get into the bags. Once they get into my bags and stuff, but it's really a 4-day process. Because you want
that sounds like it's not just to slam it together and you're done thing.
It's not like the hard candy. I can bang a batch of them out within an hour and a half because it's just hard candy, sit, cool, dry, pop them out of the molds, and you're off to the races, right? These have to be dry to have rubber gloves on, trying to poke them out, using like fucking chopsticks to get them out because they're so goddamn sticky. And that was the first batch with no medicine, and I was almost like, by the time I was pulling these little tiny gummy bears out of these fucking molds, I'm like, I'm not doing this. This is fucking, I'm not doing this, right? And then I looked at the big jar of oil sitting on the counter and went, I gotta do this because I'm doing this. Like, take this out, and I'm glad I did because I got the bags out for the CSP this weekend. They got roaches because that's all I had for cannabis for them. But they got some roaches, they got papers, they got gummies, and they got fudge, and they got socks and toques, and you know what I mean. Like, but I was able to get out to where I was at. I'm going out to a different location because the location I was first going out to now require an RCMP escort.
Oh. For
safety. So if you go out there, the anchors, girls, and all the social workers have to take an RCMP escort with them.
Oh.
So with me, what I'm doing, an RCMP escort probably is not going to happen. Just saying. Want to come out while I go hand out some weed to the homeless? RCMP officer Joe? Not going to happen. So some of the original crew, the crew that were out at Perry Creek that I'd mentioned before, they're still out at Perry Creek. And they've got social workers and anchors going out there because they're not the ones that are so, these are an older crowd. Like why these people are even, anyways, it doesn't matter. So I've been going to them. And that I'm concentrating on that camp at 12. There's 12 camp, like there's 27 people out there, right? Like there's 12 camps, there's 27 people in total. So we've got 12 couples and then 3 singles out there. And 2 cats and 4 dogs. Or no, 4 cats and 2 dogs, sorry. So yeah, that's my new, well, they're not new. They're the older bunch that were at Moyer, but
it's a new location of some of the same people.
For their own safety, because they were tired of getting ripped off. They were tired of getting woken up in the middle of the night with somebody putting a knife through their tongue, looking for drugs, whatever. These people are more, they're not addicted. Like a lot of them don't use up there.
Right.
So, you know, and I don't want to get stabbed. And I definitely am not going to take an RCMP escort out to go hand out bags of weed.
Yeah, I wonder how that would make up.
Well, I can ask Bob and see if he would, you know, what he'd think. Because I do have a friend that's an RCMP officer here in town. And I could text him and he might come with me, to be fair.
Off duty, he's not working.
Right. Like, yeah. So I'm not saying I wouldn't, but when I was told that by the crew from Anchors, they said, you know, Tamara, please don't go out there with you and your son alone. We are taking RCMP with us right now. Please don't. And I went, okay.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But I'm still working with these other ones.
Still helping, yeah. You're still helping some of the same people.
And the people across the street in the recovery house are still there. And my other couple of people that I've been helping that are, you know, are still here. So that 27 out there, I still have 50 people that I'm helping. I'm just not at the 100 that I was because of 50 that I was up. You know what I mean? So it's lowered the numbers a bit, but you never know. There might be another. You just never know. So yeah.
Exactly.
But I'm not stopping. It's been a year. Our year anniversary. Yep.
Good. Congratulations. You've been at it for a year.
Yeah, at it for a year.
Yep. Now to make it 2.
Now to make it 2 and then on to 3. And hopefully we can get some housing and get some recovery housing and just help people a little more.
That's right. Yeah. All right. Time for us to take a break. When we get back, what do we got? I got a report on cannabis and autism.
Good topic.
Yes, and cannabis, and this is the one that some people might find controversy, but cannabis use during pregnancy. So.
Oh, I have lots of experience with that topic.
Okay, all right. Well, when we get back, those are a couple of things we're going to talk about. You're watching the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at paceradio.net and 420pace.ca.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420. Rerolled Saturdays. Check it out. Nothing but non-stop cannabis and psychedelic programming. Find it at 420pace.ca.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more. We've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Are you looking to get your medical cannabis grow license? Limestone City Hydroponics can help patients through the process of obtaining their license to grow medical cannabis. What's that? You don't have a doctor. If you meet the medical criteria, Limestone City Hydroponics has a nurse practitioner who can assess and provide medical cannabis prescriptions. What are you waiting for? Contact Limestone City Hydroponics at limestonecityhydroponics.ca or call them at 613-548-0420.
Pace Radio is the People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network.
Stays
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Alrighty, we are back, and you're watching the Pace Radio Show. We've got one more segment to cover, and we're going to start by talking about cannabis and autism. But I got one thing to mention, some little personal note. Oh, there's your gummy.
Yeah, so that's one of the gummies that I made.
Okay, hang on, I'm going to blow that up.
These are 1,000 milligrams each, these ones. And they're like big.
Yeah. I'm missing the button. There we go. There we go. Bring it back up again. Oh.
And these are root beer flavored, right? These ones. And then out of the same batch, they're smaller ones, so they come in a pack of 6.
Right.
They too would be probably 1,000 milligrams for 2 of them because of the size, right? Because of the difference in size. So this will be 1,000 because of the size, and then this is a smaller mold, same batch.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's like 6 pieces in there.
Yeah, 6 pieces.
So you're looking at like about 175 milligrams per.
I would think. So. I would think they were probably because, like I said, that's 1,000. So I'm thinking like 2 of them would be 500. You know what I mean? Like it's hard. Yeah. So that's why there's 6 in there. So those ones, and then these are the cherry ones that I made too. These ones are just like. But you see how small kind of they are? And this is just this is what was the leftovers. These will be for CSP.
Right.
And you see the little bit of white sugar on them because they were so fucking sticky. I had to put like just white sugar on them just to pull them out of the garbage. Well, I learned my lesson. That's why these ones don't. Like these ones are the big, like they don't have any because I let them sit longer and dried them out. So they're not, but like I said, you can feel that when I put them in the packaging, they felt a bit crunchy around the edges, right? Because they were dry. Right. Now that in their packaging, you can feel that they've softened back up again, right? So these ones won't go moldy on me because I let them sit for a long enough period of time that I can send these where, put them on the shelf and they're going to last for at least a month without, what I mean? The packaging says up to 3 months.
And you hope that it's not going to be around in a month to even worry about that. So.
Well, I haven't taken any out of this size to them. They've gotten this one batch. They haven't gotten any of this batch yet.
Yeah. Okay. And so you haven't seen anything go bad with them. And these are made with that kit?
Not this kit.
Oh, okay. Another kit. Right.
Hang on. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
It's just like I'm in the living room. So it's not so bad.
She's gone off running someplace. And then we'll talk about autism and stuff when she gets back. No, I could play a little music or something, maybe.
I'm giving away my trade secrets. I'm giving away my trade secrets.
Secrets.
I'm giving away my secrets.
That's right. Yeah, baking secrets. Okay. Oh, gummy mix.
Yeah. So all you
by
need.
Who? I couldn't read who by.
Lauren.
Oh, okay, Lauren.
It's
okay.
Baking. You buy this to the baking supply houses, right? Like the baking wholesales, right? So yeah, and it's not like you have to be specifically anybody to do it. Anybody can buy this shit. But all you need for this stuff is your flavoring, your food coloring, and your silicone mold. Everything is in this package.
Oh.
So yeah. And what's the ingredients on this one here?
So what if you don't put any food coloring in it? They're just clear?
Yeah. It's clear.
Some people have issue with food coloring, right?
Yeah, it would be clear. And again, because I'm using RSL, they've got a bit of a black brownish kind of.
Well, yeah, they'll be discolored.
Right, and I mean you have to like scrape a lot of foam off, and sometimes that does so that sometimes you'll see a bit of foam on the back of them. Like these ones are pretty good, but that's because you have to scrape. There's a lot of foam, and if you don't let it sit, and then you have to. There's a few tricks to it.
Foam. Where does foam come from? Holy smokes! I've never heard about foam before.
Yeah, after you're done cooking it all together, you have to let it sit so the foam can rise out of the gelatin, and you have to skim that off. Right? And when I did the gelatin stuff and whatever before, I never was told to ever do that.
Well, like I said, I've never made them, so.
Right.
So this has been. Yeah, I made all kinds of things, but I just never ever made gummies.
Right. And again, this has been a bit of a learning curve for me because I said, hands down, I was never going to do this. Yeah. Because I had such issues with them when I did have them had done them before, right? Mm-hmm. And that's why I stuck with the hard candy. I knew what I was doing. I had that down pat, blah blah. But people want gummies.
Yeah.
It's just at the end of the day, they want gummies. Even with my CSP, like, they take my hard candies and never complain, but they always gummies with it too. Like,
Is it gummies? Gummies, does that remind us of candies of when we were kids?
I still eat just regular gummies, so I don't know. Maybe. Okay, so these are like, let's see what they've got in them. No fat, no saturated
I
fat.
gotta get to this controversial stuff. So get into your gummies here.
No, go ahead. I'm just
Okay,
reading.
all right.
Yeah, go ahead, because like I said, I just wanted to see if there's anything in here that's going to hurt you.
Oh yes. So cannabis and autism. Yeah, it says that they said cannabis can provide short-term relief for autism symptoms. And they say this research was in the Journal of Scientific Reports. It examined the data from 111 self-identified autistic adults who used cannabis to manage the systems. And over a 74-month period, they did this. So 74 months, that's like 6 years.
74? Yeah, 6 years, yeah.
6 years. Participants tracked more than 5,900 cannabis use sessions through an app. Rating the system's severity before and after use.
That's a long period of time for us.
It sure is, yeah, 6 years.
I was thinking, like, that's a really long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
When did they start this study then? They started the study like a long time ago then.
Yeah, well, 6 years, you're looking 2019.
Right? So prior to legalization. Anywhere.
Well, it just ended or just started.
Is this a Canadian study?
I'm not seeing, where it's based from yet, but I'll let you know if I do. So they said that results showed that overall symptom severity, I got hiccups now, severity ratings decreased by 73% from before to after cannabis use, with symptoms reduced rather than exacerbated.
I've seen it with my own two eyes.
Yeah.
I've
98% of the people, the symptoms were reduced.
Yep.
Instead of being worse.
Yep. Yeah. I've had experience with that on a couple different levels.
They focused on 4 symptom clusters commonly associated with autism. They mentioned sensitivity issues, including sensory overload, sound sensitivity, repetitive behaviors, mental control problems,
stimming,
and negative affect. They said that sensitivity symptoms showed a 68% reduction. Repetitive behaviors decreased by 70%.
Sleep is a real issue for a lot of autistic kids. Like, that's something that parents don't really mention too much, but they have a hard time going to sleep and staying asleep, autistic kids, right?
Okay.
So cannabis is, like, in my experience, for the one, it helped the sleep issue, which then helped the behavior issue during the days as well. Because with lack of sleep for these children, also causes them to stim more and triggers more behavior issues, right?
Yeah. Let's see what else. They said that mental control issues dropped by 69% and negative affect symptoms were reduced by 76%.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. And for adults,
okay, this was it was done the University of New Orleans. They noted that higher doses predicted greater reductions in severity for repetitive behaviors, mental control, and negative affect symptoms.
Wonder if we're getting all this research blowing out right now because they're cutting funding to all this stuff, so they have to wrap all these.
I don't know. The researchers revealed that more severe symptoms before cannabis use were associated with greater reductions in severity afterwards. Though significant differences existed across individuals in how much relief they experienced. Yeah, that's expected.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, too, different ways of administration, too, like whether they're inhaling, whether they're eating.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if I can find that out.
Because I find, like, for myself personally, I don't find
edibles. There you go. There you go, right here. The study participants aged 19 to 70 used inhaled cannabis products with varying concentrations of THC and CBD. Interestingly, the specific cannabinoid concentrations did not significantly influence symptom changes, contrasting with the results of other trials.
No.
They say that age emerged as a significant factor, with the older adults reporting greater relief from sensitivity symptoms.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's super interesting. That's something I did not know. I didn't know that, and that's great. That's great information because there are so many adults too, especially from the Generation X that I'm from, that have issues that they're still being diagnosed with.
Now they do say at the end that this is for short term, not for long term, but short term relief. It's relief, right? And who knows? You start with the short term, see what happens.
Any medication, you still got to repeat it every 4 hours.
Yeah,
That's short term relief.
Well, maybe because this study just didn't include long term. This study was only.
What's their explanation of short term, long term? Because
it doesn't say. It didn't say.
Right? Because I mean, like even when you're taking any pain medication per se, you have to repeat that every 4 hours to get any relief too. So I mean, you can't just smoke one joint and think, no, I'm cured.
Well, you got to think. Okay, well, they did this report over 6 years, like we said at the beginning. Right? So it's short term 6 years, not like a month or two.
Well, you think after 6 years and they're still getting relief out of it, that's long term.
To me, 6 years it feels pretty long, but yeah.
Like I said, what's their definition of? So
right now,
so quickly we'll just get rid of these gummies so it's like out of my face. Sugar, corn syrup, solids, gelatin, citric acid, and zenith gum. That's all it's in here.
That's all it's in there.
Yep.
All right.
Anyways, on to the next topic. No, okay. I'll quit. I won't even look at it, and it's over.
Okay, this report, this study, or this thing comes from McGill University in
Montreal.
Okay, and it says heavy cannabis use during pregnancy linked to disruption in brain growth.
Really?
They say that they have found evidence that heavy cannabis use during pregnancy can cause delays in brain development in the fetus that persist into adulthood. They said they used MRI techniques. The team tracked the effects of prenatal cannabis exposure in mice across key development stages.
Is that one of my kids getting 98% on his math tests?
Yeah, I know. Like I said, this is going to be controversial. Okay, they say that since cannabis legalization is relatively recent, we don't yet have long-term human data on new THC products. They said our findings offer an early glimpse of possible outcomes a decade or two down the line. Okay. They observed that. They observed developmental changes across 3 life changes. They say that late pregnancy embryos exposed to THC had smaller bodies and larger brain verticals that signal abnormal brain development. They said early life newborns gained weight faster, but the brains developed more slowly, suggesting a mismatch or a delay. And at adolescence to childhood, smaller brain volumes persisted, especially in females who also showed more anxiety-like behaviors. Okay, now they say, with quotes, the good news is that many of these developmental delays are subtle and could likely be offset with supportive environment. So this is what happened in mice. And you
You
know
want
how
to study on children?
no, what's that? That wasn't no. The kids
I
weren't
know.
smoking joints.
No,
Yeah.
but again, if they want long-term, like
Yeah.
if they want evidence, there are enough of us. If they
Oh,
want, that would come forward with our children and let them fucking study the brain and let them
yeah.
go instead of having to, subject some other woman that doesn't want, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
take an MRI of his fucking brain, and he was premature. Yes, he was. But I smoked absolutely no cannabis with my oldest daughter, Rihanna. She was also early. I smoked cigarettes. I smoked absolutely nothing with Tyrus, my older boy, who's 29. Absolutely no cigarettes, no tobacco, like nothing. Didn't nothing. He was 5.5. He was 5 weeks early too, so he was premature as well. So I've got three, and then with Talia, unfortunately, I didn't know I was pregnant with her until I was almost 5 months pregnant. So she got a little bit of alcohol in that involved with her life too. So we were always worried about some fetal alcohol syndrome with Talia, right? Because it was like I got pregnant, I had Rihanna, and then all of a sudden I was like pregnant again, didn't even realize it. And then I was out drinking because like with my whatever. And then all of a sudden it's like fuck. And then I was pregnant. I found out I was pregnant, so I quit drinking at that immediate like once I found out I was pregnant. But again, with fetal alcohol syndrome, you don't know whether it's one drink or 20 drinks, or you just never.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
my husband is fetal alcohol syndrome because his mother was an alcoholic, and so was his
Yeah.
father. Thankfully, Talia is not fetal alcohol syndrome. Thankfully, but you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
again, I had four different kids with four different aspects, and they were all premature except for Talia. She was the one I drank with. She was late. Like she was 10 days late, to be fair.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, there have been reports lately about cannabis reducing alcohol consumption, and we're seeing that in the sales of alcohol here in Canada and other places around the world.
Well, that with the tariffs and the alcohol from the States and
Well, I'm not talking about tariff wise, but just overall, less alcohol is being consumed because of cannabis. And this includes states that have legalized, so there's no tariff that way. Right?
no, I'm talking about the fact that we rip some of the American booze off the shelves. But
Yeah, yeah, it's a different topic.
that's not talking. But again, like I said, even with cannabis consumption, like it really does make a difference with pharmaceutical levels. It makes a difference with alcohol levels. And we're seeing the how many billion dollars over the last how many years that they've put out from just the 25% of that taxation on that cannabis. Because you have to think that $1.8 billion that you whatever at the beginning of the show, that's only 25% because the other 75% goes back.
Oh, exactly. I know. I was waiting to see if you clicked in on that part of it all.
I did. So again, like I said, at the end of the day, there's a lot of money coming back, and you can tell by the taxation that it is right, and the levels of people that are not doing the harder drugs. I mean, we're still seeing no levels, right? But
I thought you would have brought that up when I first started talking about it. Because I was thinking about
just
like 25%. The other 75% of the provinces.
Delayed reaction. I just actually thought about it because I was a delayed reaction.
Yeah. Now talking about alcohol and cannabis and stuff, there has been a report that has come out of the Virginia Commonwealth University that says that alcohol, actually cannabis, can lower or may lower risk of alcohol-related liver disease. I know a fellow who died from cirrhosis of the liver.
Well, if you don't drink, you wouldn't. But again, depends on a medication that you take too. Because I know that our medication I take, I have to worry about it fucking causing me to have liver issues.
Yeah.
Right? I get cirrhosis of the liver.
Yeah, my medications. That's the main
thing too.
Yeah, they had to check. Keep an eye on the liver. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we have to blood tests all the time to check our livers, right? More than anything.
Yeah.
And our vitamin C and D and all sorts of stupid shit.
I'll be going for blood tests in 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks, I think, actually.
I have to make an appointment. I was just at the doctor and I had a doctor's appointment yesterday or the day before too. And I was supposed to go see this, and I slept through the appointment. It was at 9:00 and I slept. Yeah. Anyways, but the difference in what we take and what we put into our bodies, right?
Oh yeah. They said that their analysis showed a clear pattern. They compared with those who did not use cannabis. Patients with cannabis use disorder had a 40% lower risk of developing alcohol liver disease. Patients with cannabis use disorder also had 70%. Cannabis use disorder. Where's this? They're just thinking about people smoking joints, but they're talking about cannabis use disorder. So they're talking about people who are over consuming. Okay, hang on. Yeah.
Cannabis use disorder. What the fuck is that? Hi, I'm Tamara.
They said that they divided participants into 3 groups: those diagnosed with cannabis use disorder, cannabis users without signs of dependence, and those who did not use cannabis at all. The researchers followed these patients for 3 years after they were initially diagnosed to see who developed alcohol-associated liver disease, experienced liver failure, or died from any cause.
What do you? I don't understand. Are they consuming alcohol too?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
So they're wanting them to consume alcohol and cannabis, and then not consume alcohol with just cannabis, and then they want them to just. It's confusing. That's kind of confusing.
Yeah, I know. But that's what they say. Anyways, your liver is better with cannabis.
If you consume alcohol and cannabis at the same time.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Not that I don't drink.
Now let's say here, what do these results mean for cannabis users? Researchers emphasize that the findings do not mean people should use cannabis to protect their liver. The
warning label says, "Please do not take this like as it's going to protect."
you. Now they say this study shows an association, not cause and effect. Cannabis may have protective properties, but we still don't know exactly how much, what form, or what dose may be safe or effective. The goal is to promote cannabis use, but to understand which parts of it might hold promise as medicine. So there you go.
I think that's a step forward, right? Baby
Yeah,
step.
that's all research. More research, right?
Well, again, like I said, the more research we get, but I mean, how much more fucking research do we need? Is where I'm at? Like, we've been doing this 20 fucking years. It didn't take them 20 fucking years to come up with a fucking COVID vaccine. Why is it taking so long for them to come up with something?
No. Okay, last study before we go. This one here finds that there's 4 distinct aroma profiles associated with cannabis. They said they took a panel of 24 sensory analysis experts. They evaluated the aroma profiles of cannabis and hemp flowers, and together identified 4 distinct flavors or aroma profiles. They said that they are fruit berry candy, so sweet smelling, I would say. Yes. Citrus and chemical. Funky, earthy, musty, straw, fuel, black tea, woody, and nutty roasted.
Yeah, I would agree on that.
And the last one is cheesy, that has a hint of vomit and fecal.
That would probably be your hemp. Actually, I don't know anybody. There's so many seeds in a bud of hemp. I don't know how the fuck you'd smoke it anyway.
Yeah, and they as the guy who's involved in this research says that aroma plays a key role in how consumers judge cannabis quality. Bingo. Yeah.
Terpenes.
Everybody complains. I want to be able to smell it. I want to smell it, right?
And that's the thing. Like, if you can't smell it and then you taste it, it tastes like it's just you're not going to smoke it. Like, you know how many times I've opened a bag and pull and it tastes like mold.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, that's a dirty basement smell or taste again. That's fucking mold, man. And that's coming to legal market.
Yeah.
We're not talking.
Well, like the guy says here, people know this. It might be more important to know that instead of the THC levels. But if you bought something ahead of time, or if you knew what it would smell like, whether it was going to be cheesy and vomit smelling, you might not, really
You know, at one time before, like I said, before the whole pandemic shit happened, BC actually, when it first came out, they had the buds sitting in those little clear things, and you could stake them and look at them, and you couldn't smell it because it's in a fucking plastic container. They're like a little and who wants to stick their nose where everybody else has stuck their nose too? Like,
Yeah.
like
See, we got
over or not? Like, I know that's why I was waving because I see that they were here.
yeah. Yes, they send. I was there yesterday. I went to Limestone City Hydroponics yesterday. I was there to pick up some of my supplies, and got to see Margaret and Pierre.
That's awesome.
And then when I got home, I reached into my bag and I started emptying my stuff out. And what do I find? A little bag inside. And inside that little bag, there was rolling papers. There's a sucker, a couple chew candies. There was. It's been like probably 50 years since I've had one of these, but a candy necklace.
Oh yeah.
Candy necklace was in there. Things for marking like your plants, so you can identify your plants.
Oh yeah, some stuff.
And a special marker, which I assume was to mark on those plants. Let's see, what else was in there. I think that was. No, there was a couple of rosin jars for putting your rosin or
nice
in there, your wax, stuff like that. So
I followed them.
Thank you guys. Really appreciate it.
I follow them on TikTok, and I'm pleased to see that they get away with being able to do a little bit of advertising of what their stores got available.
Lots of stuff there.
And Chris Packer too, like with the CSP in Halifax, he keeps it down to a kind of minimal, and they haven't taken him down. The minute I say the word cannabis, I'm fucking banned.
Yeah.
So I wish I could do more of that on there, but I can't.
Other than that, we are done for the day. But I do have to let you know for next week, we have a guest.
Woo!
Kim Soltarski.
Cool.
Kim, for those who don't know, Kim is involved in documentaries making. THC series, the healing show series that he does. You're welcome. Got a message from Limestone. They said thank you. Yeah. So he's going to be on his latest show, his latest documentary. He's just got it out. It is on a patient with Alzheimer's disease.
Awesome.
So, we will be talking with Kim as well as the patient.
Oh, that's terrific. I know. Like I said, I'm working on getting my friend who's a veteran on too. So hopefully we'll have back-to-back guests.
Yeah. All righty. Other than that, anything else before we say goodbye?
Anybody want a dog? No. Just keep checking on the CSP page, please. And if you can send donations, please do. To tamarily9@hotmail.com, or ask me for my address because I need everything again. We're down to no toques, no socks. No, I gave everything out.
Everything's gone. And winter's coming on, right?
I've got gummies for them. I do have gummies.
Yeah. And for anybody else, I see some people just tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like and share button.
Subscribe.
You're watching us on YouTube and other social media spots. Other than that,
and thanks to our sponsors again.
Got to thank our sponsors. That's right, exactly, and also our viewers. So yes, thanks to our sponsors. Like to Limestone City Hydroponics.ca, to At-Eze.ca, and the Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. Other than that, thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you all next week. Same time, same place. And bye-bye.
Let's share PACE everywhere. That way it can help create peace. People everywhere advocating cannabis education.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.